Movie trailers have one goal in mind: sell tickets. So it's no surprise that sometimes they're full of What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here with all the trailers for big movies coming out this year. It got me thinking about all the times we've been lied to. For example, I've been watching these Black Widow trailers and I think they're lying to us. It really looks like Yelena Belova is gonna die at some point in this movie, and she might be digitally inserted into this sequence with the entire Black Widow family, but that's neither here nor there because we don't know yet.
Oh, really?
I could spend hours talking about how movies like Rogue One totally didn't include the moment where Jyn Erso is greeted by a TIE fighter, a million other things, or how Mission Impossible Fallout made it look like Tom Cruise was crashing into a semi-truck when he was really flying a helicopter into another helicopter on purpose. The dude's mad. But we're gonna stick to comic book movies, starting with Thor Ragnarok. I spent time on the set of this movie, including the day Loki tosses his knives like this in a showdown with Hela. None of the sequence made it into the film because of reshoots or changes in the edit or something along the way, something you're gonna hear a lot about in this video. Prime example, Hela destroyed Thor's hammer in an alley in the trailers, but in the movies, a wide open, lovely green field. Plus, in all of the trailers, Thor had two eyes, and we know he didn't at the same point in the actual movie. And they did the same thing with footage from Avengers Infinity War involving Thor when they screened it at D23. The sequence where he met the Guardians was made to keep his 2020 vision. Then there's Iron Man 3, which used its trailers to lie to us for its big plot twist, but also kind of pissed off the purest comic book fans, which in this case is me. The Mandarin in the trailer was not the Mandarin in the movie, and while we're at it, the Mandarin in the movie wasn't even the Mandarin. Well, that's a whole different story. There were also ominous lines like this bit.
Today is the first day of what's left of your life.
But that never made it into the movie. In fact, Iron Man kind of made this whole thing a habit. Iron Man 2 had trailer shots where Pepper Potts kisses the helmet and tosses it out of a cargo plane, but it turns out she tossed this whole scene out of a cargo plane. It's actually a pretty funny sequence if we're being honest, but it only made it to the Blu-ray, and the movie instead started with Tony dropping into the Stark Expo. More recently, Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home had quite a few sequences that weren't in either movie, like this shot of Spider-Man and Iron Man zipping through New York together. It was a really cool nod to a comic book cover, but it never made it into the film, just like the scenes in Far From Home where Peter does the police's work for them. Never in the movie. These scenes also made it onto the Blu-ray, along with a couple others where Peter is running errands, so you can still find them.
Thank God!
For the most part, the deception in trailers we've talked about has been forgivable. It's often to preserve spoilers. Then, you get to the release, the Snyder Cut movement. I'm talking about Justice League. This movie released trailers based on a version of the film shot by director Zack Snyder, which was hugely overhauled when Joss Whedon was brought in to re-complete the film. Scenes like Barry Allen learning how to use his powers and shattering glass, with Iris West standing right behind him. Iris West didn't even make the movie, like at all. She's not there.
I feel shocked.
A whole bunch of sequences with Cyborg were cut entirely, especially with Victor Stone playing football and becoming the Cyborg character we know. However, one of the most notable scenes that was cut was in the San Diego Comic-Con trailer. You'll remember this one. It was one everyone flipped out over, with a whole bunch of debate wondering who Alfred meant, and says,
You said you'd come.
As it turns out, this was Superman's return in the original cut of the film, but it was scrapped, just like another moment where Bruce Wayne is looking at Superman in a hologram form. Not in the movie. But maybe in the Snyder Cut?
Release the Kraken.
Another DC film did something similar when Suicide Squad released trailers after David Ayer's movie was also heavily reshot. Those reshoots meant cutting lines like Enchantress saying,
Let's do something fun.
and a sequence where Harley Quinn was a bartender for everyone. The movie picked up after that sequence, and honestly, the bar scene in Suicide Squad was one of the best scenes in the movie, so why did they even cut that part out? There was also a whole bunch of Jared Leto Joker stuff that was left out, like this moment where he pulls the pin on the grenade and says bye-bye before fleeing from the squad. Dare I say, release the Ayer cut?
Release the Kraken.
Perhaps most famously in recent years is Avengers Infinity War lying to us about several plot points in the movie. These were intentional moves to preserve spoilers, like the number of Infinity Stones that Thanos had acquired by the time he came face to face with Captain America, as seen in the gauntlet in the trailer, looking differently in the cut of the film. But most memorably, the scene where the Hulk is charging into battle in Wakanda was a straight up fib. The Hulk never showed up after the first act, and this bit was never even close to in the movie. Endgame had some similar misleads in its trailers with some of their additional footage, but the VFX team really got their money's worth because in the movie, the sequence with Tony Stark on the Benatar showed him looking really skinny, unlike the trailer that showed Robert Downey Jr. looking to be a healthy weight. Liar! We want to end this video on a fun one though, because it resulted in a cool screenshot full of the whole Guardians of the Galaxy team, but the trailers for the first Guardians movie showed Drax as part of the lineup getting thrown into jail. When we saw the movie, we learned he was already in that jail, but this shot was used to introduce the world to pretty obscure characters through trailers before the movie became a hit, so we'll allow it. Do you prefer movies to lie to us as a means to preserve spoilers? What's the worst spoiler you ever got from a movie trailer? Share your thoughts in the comments section or send them my way on Twitter and Instagram at BrandonDavisBD, and head over to Comicbook.com for more. I'm BD, I'll see you there.